as the sun slowly sank in the west. Orange, red evening clouds spread across the sky, gently draping the grand and magnificent plaza of the Silver Dragon Castle in a soft glow. The entire square had fallen into a deathly silence. The air was thick with grief and heaviness that refused to disperse, and every silver dragon's face was filled with pain and sorrow that could not be hidden. They had just fought through an Unimagina Bly, brutal surprise assault from the Crimson Flame Dragon clan. Although the Silver Dragons had won a great victory, the price they paid was unbearably tragic. War was merciless, and countless lives were reduced to ruin. In that savage and dangerous clash head-on, the Silver Dragon clan lost 234 brave and fearless warriors forever. Those brothers in arms who had once fought side by side, who had shared life and death together day after day, would never return alive again. They had forever left their lives on this battlefield while protecting their people. As the supreme queen of the Silver Dragons, Roswitha herself was also drowning in deep sorrow at this moment. Her brows were tightly furrowed, and her eyes were filled with lone lines and regret she could not conceal. She stood quietly on the high platform in the plaza, looking down at her grief-stricken people below. Her expression was incomparably solemn, and when she finally spoke, her voice was hoarse, yet exceptionally steady. Like all of you, my heart aches deeply for the fallen comrades who once fought beside us. But because of that, those of us who survived must gather ourselves and stand up again. The dead had gone to their eternal rest, but the living still had to keep moving forward. In order to properly honor the fallen heroes, and soothe the grief hanging over the entire clan, the Silver Dragons gathered in the plaza of their own accord, orderly and silent to hold Assel in spirit lantern memorial ceremony. The evening breeze swept gently across the square, carrying with it a touch of chill and reverence. Everyone held a spirit guiding lantern they had made with their own hands, their faces full of both devotion and sorrow, standing there quietly without a word. Today, we gather here to release the spirit lanterns we made for them with our own hands. May these lights burn long and bright, guiding our heroes on their way home. May their souls forever soar, free lie across the heavens. The moment Roswitha finished speaking, everyone raised their hands one after another, and the lanterns bearing the names of the fallen slowly rose into the air. Their warm yellow light drifted, little by little into the coming night, swaying at different heights, like scattered stars. Bathed in the last glow of the sunset, they looked gentle and heartbreakingly beautiful, carrying everyone's longing and blessings as they floated toward the distant horizon, seeing off every silver dragon hero who had died in battle. At last the long and soul MN memorial ceremony came to an end, and the crushing atmosphere of sorrow was finally eased, if only a little, to comfort the heroic spirits of the fallen and reward the soldiers who had fought with everything they had. A grand victory banquet was prepared, inside and outside the castle. Fine wine and lavish dishes filled the long tables, and the warriors sat together, raising their cups and drinking deeply with heroic spirit. Cheers to our fallen brothers. The sound of clinking cups rang out in waves, and the bold shouts shook the heavens, echoing across the entire plaza. It was both a remembrance of the brothers they had lost, and an outpouring of exhilaration and triumph after winning this brutal battle of defense. The banquet was lively beyond measure. Laughter and cheerful voices never stopped, and everyone was immersed in the joy of celebration. And yet the greatest hero of the battle, Leon, the one who had saved the Silver Dragon clan, was hiding away in a quiet corner, instead of joining the excitement. He sat upright, carefully cradling his well-behaved little daughter in his arms. His eyes were full of tenderness as he looked at the soft, adorable little one, content to stay in this peaceful little world of his own, with no desire at all to join the noise. Just then Sherry happened to pass by. At a glance, she spotted the father and daughter sitting there alone, and immediately slowed her steps and walked over, curiously starting a conversation. "Your Highness, you re one of the stars of tonight's victory banquet too. Aren't you going over to Her Majesty's side?" Leon did not even lift his head. His eyes held only the innocent little daughter in his arms. His brows and gaze were overflowing with affection, and his tone was calm and relaxed. "I'd rather look after the child." Following his gaze, Sherry looked toward Roswitha, at the center of the banquet, where she was surrounded on all sides by people frantically toasting her. Then she continued thoughtfully, "A lot of dragons want to see your true face beneath that armor. After all, you be a hero who saved the Silver Dragon clan too." Hearing that, Leon could and felt letting out a low laugh. His face was full of helpless amusement as he said, "I'm no hero. I'm not worth mentioning." But inwardly, he could not help thinking, why does that sound weirder and weirder the more he hear it? I'm a human hero. How did it spend 3 years with the Silver Dragons and somehow turn into a Silver Dragon hero? Sherry stood beside him in silence, looking at Leon's unassuming, modest, and calm demeanor. A wave of admiration rose in her heart. The prince consort is just like Her Majesty, steady and reserved by nature, always keeping a low profile, never flaunting his achievements. Is this what a true strong person's mindset is like? Not chasing empty fame, content with simplicity. That really is something he should learn from. Leon lifted his head, and looked past the noisy crowd toward the queen, who was being surrounded, and aggressive lie plied with drinks. Then he casually asked Sherry beside him, "Is that also part of the queen's job?" Sherry answered him, "Her Majesty is very good at drinking. No matter who comes to toast her, she accepts every cup. Still, it's rare to ever see Her Majesty truly drunk." Leon quietly watched Ross within the crowd. He knew perfectly well that the queen had only recently given birth and had not fully recovered. And yet, she was still forcing her tired body to keep up with those drunken guests, coming at her from every direction, without a moment to rest. Watching her stubborn lie endure it, all just to hold the scene together, Leon could not help feeling pained for her. He lowered his voice and muttered softly, "You obvious lie haven't recovered yet. You should be resting more, you silly dragon." After saying that, he slowly lowered his head and leaned closer to the soft little daughter in his arms. In a gentle and earnest voice, he carefully said to her, "In the future, don't learn from your mother. You need to balance work and rest. Don't become a workaholic, or daddy will worry about you." Of course, the little girl could not understand a word. She blinked her big watery eyes, randomly waved her little arm, and her soft tiny hand landed directly on Leon's chest. Leon instantly slipped into full dramatic mode. He quickly covered his chest in exaggerated fashion, then said in a soft amused voice, "Oh wow, baby, you're amazing. Even Constantine didn't hurt your dad, but you managed to make him hurt. You were way more powerful than Constantine." The warm, affectionate sweetness between father and daughter was almost healing to watch. Just then, a maid in a long dress quietly approached. Bending slightly, she respectfully reminded him in a soft voice, "Your Highness, it's time for the young lady to rest. I'll take her back to sleep now." The smile on Leon's face could not be hidden at all. He nodded lightly and replied in a very gentle, courteous tone, "Oh, all right, thank you." He carefully handed his little daughter over to the maid and watched eager lie as the little one was carried away. Only after her figure disappeared at the end of the corridor did Leon finally pull himself back.